So where are the Young Avengers? We've been hearing about Marvel Studios' Young Avengers series for quite a while, even hearing it was renamed to The Champions. And now it appears we might actually know who's writing the project, suggesting shooting could start by the end of the year. Let's take a couple minutes to dive into the rumor, who it comes from, who's writing the project, and when I think they might kick off production. Well, as many of you know, especially if you follow this channel, we've been talking about the Young Avengers for a long time. The pieces for that project have been put together over the last couple of years, and although Marvel's pace of development has not brought that project to fruition, it looks like it's finally happening. Now, it appears Marvel has rebranded it though, The Champions, because many of these Young Avengers are now, well, not so young. And although I think the words Young Avengers will appear in the title, The Champions is a much better name for the team. Now, what we're hearing is the project may have finally found a writer to develop the series. Now, this report comes via Nexus Point News, and to be fair, they've broken a lot of stories before the trades, but it's not Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, so we always take it with a grain of salt. Now, according to Nexus Point, writer Rasha Frunchbaum has been tapped to write the series, and presumably will serve as the showrunner and executive producer. Remember, Marvel's putting showrunners with everything that they do now and kind of developing like a traditional series. Now, she currently writes and executive produces Apple TV's Shrinking, but has also served as an executive producer and a writer on projects like And Just Like That, Fresh Off the Boat, and Parks and Rec. And honestly, as a Parks and Rec fan, well, that gets me a little excited. Now, beyond that, we don't have a lot of information about the project. We do have a lot of assumed members of the team. Lots of young heroes have been introduced in the last couple of years, including Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, and Riri Williams. So Marvel already has a pretty great framework to develop this team and get them out into the field. Now, traditionally, the team has some other faces and names that we haven't been introduced yet, like Miles Morales Spider-Man, Sam Alexander Nova, or even Scott Summers. And although I don't think Miles is going to make it, and Scott's definitely going to the X-Men, with Nova right around the corner, Sam Alexander could definitely be one of these characters that appears. Now, we have heard reports that production could kick off by the end of the year, but there have been several reports that it could wait until 2026. If this happens, that means that The Champions is very likely a post-Secret Wars project, meaning there's going to be a lot of unknowns as we dive into it because we won't know what that world's going to look like, and since we don't know what that world's going to look like, well, picking out the details for this particular project could be really hard. Marvel's done a pretty good job introducing young heroes in the last couple of years, so I think there are a ton of names to choose from. That recent concept art that leaked that's officially unofficial also showed Kate Bishop hanging out with Cassie Lang, Kamala Khan, and Speed and Wiccan, so that might have given us a little bit of a clue on what the initial team is going to look like. Regardless, we know Disney and Marvel want to lean into the Avengers franchise, and a Young Avengers team, even if it's called The Champions, well, that's exactly the name recognition they're looking for. So I honestly believe this is definitely one of the projects that's going to come to fruition. As for Frunchbaum taking up the writing and producing roles as well as being showrunners, well, like I said, I like Parks and Rec, but I am going to go check out Shrinking. I have not watched that show, and I'm really curious if any of you have and have any opinions on it, because people's most recent work is often very reflective of what they're going to bring to their upcoming projects. Obviously, we're going to follow the Young Avengers and the Champions pretty closely. I think I'm not the only one excited about it, but until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Rasha Frunchbaum taking up the role of writer and showrunner for the Champions? And who needs to be on the team for this to feel like a big deal? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.